Okay, today's the big day. We spared you my getting dressed, the comedy of me getting dressed. You're welcome. And today we're going to check that queen that we put in there the other day to make sure she got out of that little cage, ate through the candy, and got out and is active in the hive. And see how she's doing and check their food supply too. So join me while we check. I'm going to take this lid off, the roof off. And I am checking if the sugar water that we put in here for them to eat is still very, very high. There are bees in there eating, so they're getting plenty to eat. I'm going to take that out. That's what was in there, just like that. We're going to take this box off, which we called the super. We're going to take this lid off, which is between the brood box and the super. And we're going to go in here and get that queen that we put in out. And I see that they have eaten the candy out, candy plug out.
See that a little closer. Turn it that way so you can see.
The queen was in there, and she is not in there now, which means that these bees that are on the inside there are the ones that went in and ate the plug out and released her. She is not in here. She has survived and exited the queen box, and she is in the regular hive now. So this is very good news. The queen has arrived and she is doing her job, laying eggs and producing more worker bees and drone bees. I'm just double checking here. The queen looks distinctly different than these bees, and those bees are all worker bees, and there's no queen in there. And the plug is gone, so they did their job. So that's good news. I'm going to set this on the ground in front of the hive so those bees can get out. I'm going to put that right there. This was the sugar that came with the delivery. It's done. We don't need that anymore. So we are now going to remove that box that the bees originally came in. And we're going to put it in front of the hive so they can all exit. They have already made a very large comb.
Really?
This is cool. Those bees in those bees in 3 days have made that comb.
Okay, I'm not protected.
And there's actually honey already too. This is going to be a strong hive. Julie is not in uniform, so she's not going to get protected like me. So hopefully she can see that from there. This is exciting, guys. This is awesome. I'm going to put that here too. There's a bunch more comb in here that I'm not even going to take out. Actually, I am going to take it out because I don't want them to live in here. There is so much comb here, I can't even believe it. I'm grabbing out handfuls of comb.
I'm being buzzed.
I do not want these bees to live in this box. I want them to live in the hive. Okay, we'll leave that box here. Lots of honey on my hands. It's awesome. Smells great. Smells really good. Now we're going to put these empty frames back in this bottom brood box. And we had a question come in after our original video. Why don't we have comb? You can put artificial comb on here that the bees will just start making honey in. And that is a choice that we can make. But we're kind of an organic farm here, and we do everything naturally. So I've decided to put them in with no comb here, and they will make their own comb just like they did here. And they will fill this up with their own comb and then start putting honey in there. It takes a little bit longer to do it that way, but it is more natural, and I just kind of think that's cool. There's nothing wrong with doing it the other way either, but this is the way we're going to do it here. So I'm going to put these frames, empty frames, back in, and I'm putting more in than I did the other day because I don't have to put this box in there. So I'm going to fill this brood box up with empty frames. These are called frames. And these bees will start making comb on these frames. They're already starting to gather on them. They're loving it. Queen is in there. They're all excited about the queen. They're having a big celebration. We've got a new queen.
Sorry for the movement, guys, but the bees are all around my head.
This time, I'm going to put this back on. And I'm not going to put this back on because I'm going to feed them a different way. Last time I fed them inside of there. This time I'm just going to put this roof back on. I'm going to feed them with this instead of this. This attaches to the outside. Like that. And now they'll feed on the outside, taking that off and replacing it in the future. Going to take this with me, going to take this with me. All this goes back with me. I'm going to leave this here. I'll come back later and remove that after all those bees get out of there. I want to make sure they're not going to make a hive inside of there. I want them making their comb and hive inside of here. I love seeing all these bees. They're very, very active. They're doing great. So, the queen survived. She's doing good. We answered the question about the comb on the empty frames, and did have one question come in after the last video. It came from a young man, very inquisitive, good question from a young man named Dexter. Hi Dexter, how you doing? If there was any stings that happened in the last video. And I can say that no stings have happened. Yet.
Not even for me, yet.
And Julie is behind the camera, quite a distance from me, without being in uniform. If you're not too close to the bees, they won't sting you, but when you're up close like me, they will. But so far, Dexter, no stings. Let's hope it stays that way.
And they're swarming all around me, and none of them have stung me.
Yep,
but I am nervous.
She's not threatening them. She's not near their hive. So I think that's everything for checking on the queen. Stay tuned for future updates. Maybe in the fall, we'll film harvesting some honey.
That'd be good.
Thanks, guys. See you later.